Are you looking for a new hometown that isn't growing too fast? The kind of place the locals aren't angry when they see an out-of-state license plate? People switch states every single day. Most of those people choose cities that are popular and normally larger. There are many reasons these people end up where they end up. Family, jobs, restraining orders, but about half of those people end up where they are because they didn't do any research about other possibilities. That's what today's video is all about. In this video, we will look at 10 cities that are often overlooked. We'll look at the median home price, rent prices, healthcare ranking, and a few negatives about moving there. I'm not saying these places are bad. They're just not perfect. Really, no place is perfect. If someone tells you a place is perfect, they're a liar, heavily medicated, or a really bad real estate agent. The numbers for rent here come from Rent Cafe, the median home prices come from Zillow, and the healthcare ranking comes from AHCO, and where each of these cities ranks in the top 150 cities in the United States. One of the towns on this list is home to two of my favorite bands from the 80s and 90s. So here are the 10 most underrated cities in the United States that you should consider moving to. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Number 10, Fargo, North Dakota. You know, not a lot of people willingly move to Fargo, North Dakota, and I think that's a shame because this is a really nice city. I've never heard of any major human migration to Fargo. That's unfortunate. Fargo is a friendly and welcoming city known for its strong sense of community and Midwest charm. It has low crime, affordable housing, and a wide range of recreational opportunities, especially in the winter months. If you like winter, you don't mind a little cold and a little snow, Fargo's a great place to move to. Fargo has a great healthcare system. They're ranked 45th in the nation out of 150 of the largest cities. And if you decide you want to buy a house here, the first quarter of 2023, the median home price was $292,000. Now in this video, I'm doing something I normally don't like to do because rent prices change so often, and people often believe whatever rent they're paying, that's what everyone else is paying. I get comments and emails that usually start off with, your numbers are wrong about the rent. You said it was $850 a month. I pay $1,200 a month. I'd like to remind those people that I didn't make this video just for you. So why is Fargo often overlooked? Well, like we said, cold winters. They have incredibly snowy and cold winters. The other thing is they're not that big of a city. They only have about 126,000 residents, with the entire metro area having about 260,000. People often think it's a lot bigger because they've had a movie and a TV show that were named Fargo. Number 9, Greenville, South Carolina. Greenville, I'm starting to warm up to lately. The city is nice, their crime rate's going down, affordable real estate. It's not really just Greenville, but the entire metro area is pretty good. But we're focused on Greenville in this video. They've sort of experienced a revitalization in recent years, transforming the city into like this vibrant, culturally rich city. Has a nice downtown, a strong economy, good job opportunities in industries like manufacturing and healthcare, and they have access to a lot of outdoor activities with the Blue Ridge Mountains being nearby. They also have Asheville, North Carolina, which is a great place to go adventuring, I guess you could say. There's a lot of good hiking and camping out that area. That's only like an hour north of Greenville. If you want to buy a house in Greenville, the median home price is about $295,000. Average rent for a one-bedroom is about $1,400, $1,388 actually, and their healthcare ranking is 28 out of 150. Now here's your negatives. Why it's often overlooked. High humidity levels during the summer months. They have limited public transportation options. I saw one guy in a video last year, I was researching Greenville, and the guy goes, we really don't have much of a public transportation. Public transportation in Greenville is really walking. Some areas might have some higher crime rates, but it's definitely not as bad as about 200 other cities in the United States. Number 8, Reno, Nevada. A lot of people are going to argue with me on this one because Reno's got some problems, but their problems, again, aren't as bad as a lot of other places. This video is really just about the cities, but the areas surrounding Reno aren't that bad at all. Their suburbs are pretty good, and they got a lot of things to do outdoors. They're known as the biggest city in the world. Reno has evolved beyond its reputation of a casino town, which that's another thing. They got casinos there. They have a strong job market fueled by industries like technology and logistics. And they got the Sierra Nevadas right there. And of course, Lake Tahoe. If you want to call Reno home and buy some real estate, you're looking at a median home price of $522,000. That's a little bit down from 2022 when it was $533,000. Their average one-bedroom rent is $1,612, and they're ranked 61st in healthcare. They might be a little more expensive than other places, but if you're into outdoor activities, this is one of the best options you have in the country. So why is Reno overlooked? Hot, dry desert climate. Even though they're up in the Sierra Nevadas, it's not like Oregon, Washington. It's a little more of that California desert type wooded areas. They also have limited job opportunities outside of tourism, logistics, technology, and hospitality sectors. The third negative is they have increased traffic congestion, and a lot of that has to do with they didn't really upgrade to bigger roads or anything as the city got more popular. So they're behind on where they should be on roads, and that builds a little bit of traffic now and then. Number 7, Burlington, Vermont. Burlington is a great city and a great place to live. It sits on Lake Champlain and is bordered with New York and not too far from the Canadian border. This town is a good mix of natural beauty and a thriving art scene with a strong emphasis on sustainability. So if green energy and all that stuff is your gig, this is a great place to live. And it's got a very high quality of life. They also have a really good healthcare system in Burlington. It's one of the best in the nation for such a small town, or small city. If you want to get a home in Burlington, you're looking at about $505,000 for the median home price. If you're looking to rent, it's a little expensive. One bedroom will go for about $2,200 a month, but their healthcare is ranked number 6 in the nation. Now here's the downside of living there, besides being a little expensive. Cold, snowy winters. It's New England, it's near the Canadian border. You're gonna have cold, you're gonna have snow, but the place is beautiful winter, spring, summer, and fall. All you gotta do is call. They have limited job opportunities in almost every industry, so this is a great place to move if you're knocking it out of the park on salary and you're a remote worker or something like that. Great place for that. Number 6, Omaha, Nebraska. We never talk about Omaha, probably because it's in Nebraska. But if you're looking for some of that Midwest charm, Omaha's a good option. For Nebraska, this is a giant city. For most of the country, it's a small town. No, not that small. They've actually got a population of almost 500,000 residents. Their entire metro area has about 967,000. Omaha is a pretty good downtown area. They also have museums, parks, and a good range of amenities. Their housing is affordable. They have low unemployment rate and an excellent healthcare system with nationally recognized hospitals and medical centers offering a wide range of specialized services. So it's not so small to where you're going to have to spend the day driving to like Des Moines to find a better hospital or a specialist you need. Now here's the good news. If you want to buy a home in Omaha, Nebraska, you're looking at about $277,000. That is not bad. Rent here is only about $1,145, and their healthcare ranking is 14th in the nation. That is not bad. So if you have like a cow tipping incident and break your femur, you can get it taken care of. Now here's their negatives. Extreme weather conditions, including really hot summers and cold winters. Now, are they as bad as Minnesota or Buffalo, New York? No, but it gets pretty cold. They have limited cultural diversity compared to larger cities, and that's a big problem for a lot of people, especially millennials and Gen Z, and educated people normally. Limited access to coastal areas and beaches. Believe it or not, this is a big thing for a lot of people. They got some lakes and rivers in the area, but they're just the middle of the country. They're so far away from the ocean, the movie Jaws never really bothered them. How many of you had a problem going to the ocean after you saw Jaws? I know a lot of you are over the age of 40, but Jaws screwed me up for years, and I lived like 3 blocks off the beach. Number 5, Missoula, Montana. Missoula is a college town, and we really don't talk about it much. I just recently did a video on where I think Montana's about to blow up population. At least I think they're on the verge of having a mass migration there, which I'm sure the locals aren't really too keen on, but you know, that's life. I'm sure people in California and New York weren't too keen on people from everywhere else in the country moving there back in the early days. And that kind of brings me to a point. California is like the original go-to state. People migrated there from Illinois, Indiana, even the East Coast. The gold rush was a big migration thing. People flooded into California, people chasing their dreams. Should California kind of shut the door on them and told them, we don't want you here, the gold's all ours? No, it's part of the American dream. And California is part of the United States, just like Montana is, Idaho, and all those other places. Your grandparents or great-grandparents at some point were looking for a dream. And most of those people that were looking for that dream ended up in California. Anyway, Missoula is nestled in the heart of the Rockies. It's a picturesque city with abundant outdoor recreational opportunities. It's also home to the University of Montana. Like I said, it's a college town, and it's great for people who like to hike, ski, fish, things like that. Missoula is another place that has a solid healthcare system. If you want to buy a home here, according to Zillow, first quarter 2023, the median home price was $531,000. The average rent for one bedroom is about $1,400. Now, rent's a little bit higher, and I think a lot of that has to do with the amount of college students coming through. Missoula's healthcare system is ranked 55th in the nation. Now, why people don't want to move there? Harsh winters and heavy snowfall. Montana, it's another place that has limited job opportunities in a lot of different areas, and they're really not too close to any large metropolitan areas. Now, I know some people think that's a great thing. Sometimes you need to get there. Like we've been talking about healthcare, sometimes you need to be near a big city, especially if you have some kind of condition that needs to see specialists. One thing I rarely mention, which I should, is when you're not near a large metropolitan area, if you've got to fly anywhere, it can be a little bit more of a hassle if you're in a smaller town. I grew up in Los Angeles. I could go down to LAX in the morning and be just about any place in the United States well before dinner. They had flights leaving every hour, sometimes 2 or 3 times an hour for every place it seemed like. If you're in Missoula, let's say you got to drive to Boise to get to a decent size airport, they might have one flight going out at noon or something. And if you're going to the East Coast or the South, you're probably going to have 2 layovers at least. So you left at noon and you're getting someplace else by, I don't know, 1 in the morning on the East Coast. Now, I'm sure there's some one-offs where they've got a direct flight from Boise to Detroit, Michigan or Chicago. Great. That's what we call a one-off. Number 4, Lexington, Kentucky. Yes, another place we rarely talk about. Actually, we rarely talk about the entire state of Kentucky. They got some problems and they got some great things. They're just really in the middle, so they don't show up on a lot of different videos about the worst or things that are really good. So they're just in the middle and they're just kind of average. Unless you're really talking about poverty, then they're almost on the list every single time. But today we're talking about Lexington, Kentucky, not the entire state. Lexington is known for its horse farms, bourbon distilleries, and southern hospitality. It offers a mix of historic charm and modern amenities with a strong emphasis on arts and culture. They got a good food scene there. Been quite a few years since I've been there, but I'm sure it hasn't changed much as far as the food goes. The economy is fueled by industries in healthcare and education, and outside of Lexington's not a bad looking city, but outside it's beautiful. If you want to get some real estate in Lexington, Kentucky and make it your forever home, it's fairly affordable. The median home price is about $287,000. Average rent, in case you don't want to buy, is $1,162, and their healthcare is ranked 58th in the nation. Not bad, Lexington. Now here's their negatives. Why they're often overlooked. Humid climate with hot summers, limited diversity in certain areas, and they pretty much have next to no public transportation. Number 3, Des Moines, Iowa. Back out to the Midwest, we have the great city of Des Moines. Des Moines is the capital and largest city in Iowa. It offers a friendly and affordable lifestyle. That's the strong point for Des Moines. It's affordable. It has a strong market, a lively downtown, decent food scene, craft beer scene's pretty decent, and it's one of those cities that always seems to have a festival going on like every single month. Des Moines, Iowa sits on the Mississippi River, right across from Moline, Illinois, and I'm just kidding. Davenport, Iowa sits on the Mississippi River right across from Moline. Des Moines sits in the middle of the state. It does have the Des Moines River flowing right through town, though. That's kind of nice. How many of you were going to correct me in the comment section? Come on, be honest. Let me know. Sure, a bunch of people in Des Moines were like, I stopped watching paint dry to watch this video, and he gets it wrong. If you want to buy a home in Des Moines, you're looking at about $196,000. That's the median. The average rent here is about $1,000, $1,005 for a 1-bedroom apartment. And their healthcare ranks 21st in the nation. That is not bad for Middle America. Why is Des Moines overlooked? Cold winters and hot, humid summers. It, believe it or not, gets pretty cold in the Midwest. A lot of people that have never visited during the winter, they just seem to think that states like North Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, New York get really snowy during the winter or really cold. No, the Midwest gets freaking cold. Des Moines also has limited cultural diversity compared to larger cities and limited access to coastal areas and beaches. Like I said in the last one, that is a big deal for a lot of people. Number 2, Annapolis, Maryland. Another place I only remember talking about this twice on this channel. Annapolis is a very nice city though. Annapolis is the capital city of Maryland, and it's situated on the Chesapeake Bay, about 20 miles south of Baltimore. It is known as America's sailing capital. Now, it is considered part of the Baltimore, Washington, D.C. metro area, but it's really outside of both of those cities with a good amount of farmland and small towns between them. This is also where you'll find the United States Naval Academy. It's just east of downtown. This is a beautiful campus. If you ever get a chance to go on there, it's beautiful. There's a few campuses I've been to in my life where I was just kind of amazed at how nice they look. One is Stanford. Stanford University's campus kind of reminds me of Disneyland. It's usually that well kept. The other one is USC. Now, parts of it. USC is in the middle of one of the worst areas in Los Angeles, but when you leave that and go on to the campus, you're like, hey, this place is pretty nice. Yeah, I think that's what makes me think USC is so nice, because all around it, it's a total nightmare. And then you walk on the campus and it's just kind of serene. Anyway, if you want to move to Annapolis, Maryland, the median home price is $567,000. Now, it gets way up into the millions there also. It's like quite a jump. $567,000. A little bit unrealistic. If you want to rent there, it's not terribly bad. It's one bedroom will go for about $1,600. That's not bad. And their healthcare is ranked 11th in the nation. Not bad at all. Why they're often overlooked. They have a high cost of living compared to surrounding areas. Traffic congestion, especially during peak commuting hours, can be brutal. And they have limited job opportunities outside of government and military sectors. All right, before we get to number 1, if you're thinking about moving to any of these cities or any place in the United States, there's a link for Home and Money. They can get you in touch with a real estate agent anywhere in the nation. And they got some other things on the website that are pretty cool, like mortgage calculators, things like that. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, Athens, Georgia. I love Athens, Georgia. Athens is just east of Atlanta. I guess it's kind of in the metro area, but not really. Again, like Annapolis, it's got a lot of farmland and stuff between that and Atlanta. Athens is home to the University of Georgia, and if you ever fly into their little regional airport, yeah, there's a big ditch just off the side of the landing strip. And if you don't know about it flying in, it just looks a little weird. This is a really nice city with a lot of really nice things going on. Music scene has always been strong. As a matter of fact, this is where the B-52s and the 90s band REM came from. When I was in the Army here, I went and saw a couple University of Georgia football games. There's something really cool about their stadium. I don't know what it is. They got this nice hedge going around the whole thing. It's kind of cool. Just never go to an August or September game. It's far too hot. But yeah, this is definitely a vibrant college town with an amazing musical history, like I mentioned, REM, B-52s, and other bands. Just a really cool city. If you want to live there, the median home price is $307,000. That is not bad. Their one-bedroom rent will run you about $1,500, $1,568, and their healthcare is ranked 54th in the nation. That's not bad. Now, why is it often overlooked? Hot, humid summers, just like any place else in the South. Limited job opportunities outside of education, and they're, you know, not terribly far from a large metropolitan area. Atlanta's right there, but it's far enough to sometimes be a hassle, I guess, for some. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now go out, have a great day, and be nice to each other.